In this video, we're going to make Maui's hook from the Disney movie Moana or Vaiana. My son loves this movie and has been asking if I could make him a hook like that. His birthday is coming up, so let's get to work. First, I searched online for a template. I found one and printed it out. For the wood, I used a large plywood sheet about 5 centimeters thick. I stuck the template onto it and then cut it out using a jigsaw. For corners, you drill a few holes to make it easier to turn your saw. In the end, we have a cutout hook. The shape looks fine to me, and the thickness also seems good. My jigsaw isn't as good as a bandsaw, so some of the curves aren't perfectly smooth. But once we start carving, we can refine the shape. Alright, now we can start carving because the hook obviously needs to be rounded off. We secure the hook firmly and grab the angle grinder with an Arbortech Turboplane Disc. This quickly removes a lot of wood, so it's great for the first round of carving. After that, I switched to a Holey Galahad disc from King Arthur Tools. Another great disc that I enjoy working with. The curve of the hook is now becoming more visible. I must have repositioned the hook countless times in my jaw horse clamp. It's ideal for projects like these. You clamp your workpiece easily with your foot and then lock it in place. For the smaller corners and the harder to reach areas, I use my Merlin 2 grinder from King Arthur. It basically does the same as the larger grinder, but on a smaller scale. The shape is done, so now comes the fun part. Sanding, sanding, sanding. Luckily, I can use the DeWalt Eccentric Sander. That goes pretty quickly. But for the tricky parts, like the handle, those always have to be done by hand. Speaking of the handle, this will eventually have a rope grip, and I want it to sit inside the wood, not on top of it. So I marked it out, deepened the area with the Merlin grinder, and sanded it smooth. So yeehaw, the hook is done. Well, at least the shape is finished. Just a few days until my son's birthday. Should be fine. There are a few imperfections in the wood, so I filled them with putty first. Then the primer can go on. You do this to prevent the wood from soaking up all the nice varnish and to give the varnish a good surface to adhere to. A quick sand for a smooth layer, and then the varnish can go on. Since Maui's hook is actually made of bone, I chose a pearl white satin varnish. It was a bit too warm and sunny to varnish, but with a big plank as a temporary sunshade, it worked out fine. Now we have a bone-colored hook. We can now add the designs to the hook. There's no good template or example available online, so I used some still images from the movie as a guide. With a pencil, I spent about an hour and a half drawing all the decorations on the hook. Pencil doesn't last long, but there are several ways to make the drawings permanent on the hook. You can engrave them with a Dremel or simply use a marker. But I decided to use my pyrography pen. This has a hot tip that burns into the wood. I discovered that my primer layer was so tough that my pen couldn't go through it. But this actually gave a nice gray effect. A project like this is a journey of discovery, and you learn a lot through the process. Another thing I learned. Wow, burning the designs takes a long time. In total, I spent about 7 to 8 hours on it. Then the finishing touch. The rope handle. I first secured it with glue, and then I carefully wrapped the rope around the wood. It was quite tricky to find the right method, but I managed to do it. That turned out to be a nice handle, right? Just a quick burn of all the loose threads from the rope, and then the Maui hook is completely finished. Are you ready for the final result? Here it is, Maui's hook. Complete with all the beautiful decorations, the rope handle, and hopefully a gift that my son will be happy with. I'll stay quiet for a moment so you can take a good look at it. Okay, enough messing around, you fool. Time to wrap this gift, because tomorrow's the big day. Here we go. You know what? I'll just let you watch his reaction. That's the best part. One happy boy, super proud of his hook. He even had to take it to school. Nice, isn't it? This was the making of Maui's hook. Leave a comment if you enjoyed watching. Bye bye.